Welcome back to ESL Southeast Championship Season 6 online playoffs. We are just about to jump on the second picks and bans phase for the game between Rift and X25 Esports. My name is Jojo Traveling Person. I'm here with Brody Gustav Vernon to bring you the second picks and bans.
And some more action.
And
Why hello there.
I was actually wondering, can you actually see the picks and bans this time?
This time? Yes, I can.
Yes!
Finally, it's been a while, but well, we're going to be heading into the picks and bans, and I don't know. Like, I just have to say, Rift right now have to focus towards a team comp. They have to try and get something going for them. And if they don't, if they go towards an aggressive playstyle, I have a feeling they have to snowball off of it. They have to get this early game aggression much more than we've seen before. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting picks and bans, and I just can't wait to see which, the teams are going. We could even see an aggressive side from X25. Who knows?
Well, I am glad the camera is not on right now because I am fighting with a little fly in my room for like a while now. Anyways, we don't see bans that are a surprise to us. Xerath Misfortune already gone from the game for the red side. Orden Ezreal I think is a necessity to be gone. But they forgot the Sejuani insta-lock from X25 Esports. And I want to talk about their bans a little bit. We do see a lot of Na bans because the top laner, we usually see him play tanks, so Na is a sort of threat to tanks. But on the other side, the Braum is a very, very solid pick in the bot lane. He does suffer early game to these poke-oriented bot lane comps. I mean, if you add to...
Oh.
Oh, no, yeah, okay, why not?
And
It's
never
going to
mind.
be the Azir. It's going to be the Azir, and it just makes sense. It makes sense if these two get locked in. I mean,
Yes.
they have the same color. They make the screen look pretty. Not that they're S tier, both of them, but they just make the screen look
I
pretty.
don't know. That's not what it has to do with the ST. I mean, come on. But yeah, that is a very strong pickup, especially getting this in this time. I can kind of see them. They do have a lot more safer pick right now in this year instead of the Rexar. I don't know exactly what we're going to see locked in. We could potentially see. Oh dear.
Well,
Oh dear.
I mean,
Hello, darkness, my
I
old
could give a
friend.
lot
So
of
we got
insight
through
on that,
once
but
again.
we are going to see Zoe in the tournament, and are
Uh,
you happy?
I'm very happy, and it could be a Zoe support, but I don't know. We've seen like Zoe right now hasn't found a really comfortable position, but I can say with certainty she's not a good jungler. So
I'm just going to
yeah,
tell you, pretty 100% sure that I see is going to be mid lane. I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
I'd expect it, yes. But I have seen some support Zoes in the recent weeks that we've been playing with. They, I have to say, Rift are getting some very strong picks. Like as much as X25 picked up the Zoe, Sejuani, Tristana, the kind of like very strong and powerful, all present picks. Rift managed to get themselves in Azir, Azin, and a
And a
Kalista.
Kalista. Yeah.
Like,
Problem is, so far, we don't see any CC to place around the Zinza, and we have seen it fail when it doesn't have CC. I mean, I don't know how many times we have to stress it. You need CC early game in your lanes to get that Zinza going. He needs to get going. Or you need engage. And that's exactly what we see from X25. They're banning away the engage right now. The Leona is gone. And on the other side, the Shen is gone. Because if you want to play aggressive with the Zenza, you don't want to send TP in on the target you're trying to kill because that
oh
pretty
yeah.
much negates the whole aggression that the champion brings into the table. And let's see the two last bans. It is going to be again the Tamkins, which also makes a lot of sense. And I would like to see an Alista or a Braum ban here because you definitely don't want to play against the Kalista with a Braum or an Alista.
Yeah, there we go. I kind of expect that. Like, you don't want to be giving away a tanky bot lane to a Kalista lane. Like, if Kalista can now have a big engagement, that's a big bonus for her. And I'm interested to see who they're going to pick up. Like, there's not much left available, but I suppose they could kind of go towards this Braum.
It could be a Braum, it could
Oh,
also be a Thresh. It does make sense. You can literally throw a Thresh in there, and at the moment, the Zoe looks very mobile, so it could be a target for that Zenzao, and later in the game for the Thresh as well, if you throw him into the fight. And we just have to see what they would choose to go against. I mean, a Karma would make a lot of sense in the bot lane if you want to go with a tank in the top lane. And it's going to
or
be the Taric.
Going to be coming back into the meta. He's very strong at the moment, very tanky, has some decent CC, and he's able to save a lot of his teammates. And I don't know, that's going to be it's going to be a weird lane to watch a Tristana Taric versus a Kalista Thresh, because like either one of these teams can kind of snowball off of the engagement. Like if Thresh lands a good hook onto Tristana and Tristana doesn't have, her W to get away, that's a painful lane. But
Oh my god!
do I believe my eyes?
Yes, you should. We don't have any
Um,
input that it is a placeholder, so we are assuming so far that Sion is a Sion in the top lane, and are Rift brave enough to pick Jace into it again?
I wouldn't. I'd respond with like, yeah, if that's a sign, I'd respond with the Trundle. I'd respond with another tank. A person who's a tanky, who does a lot of damage, has some decent, CC, has some slows, and then can kind of, go up against them. Like that's what I would like to see, and we do see it locked in. Like that's a very good pickup against Sion, but I don't know. Like both these comps now have kind of switched around to we're going to be seeing a team fight versus team fight. Except early on, I have to kind of give the advantage to the Xin Azir, which is going to be a bit painful to deal with.
Zoe is very mobile on the first few levels, especially before she gets that ultimate is able to, portal through the ground.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't see a
she's
lot of
very
potential.
squishy.
Yeah, she's very squishy, and she does play usually well against Azir. The only problem is that she doesn't play well against lanes that push her in because she is a poke champion. She's not a wave clear champion, and right here there's not a lot of wave clear for X25 apart from the Tristana. And what I wanted to focus on, other than the mid lane, is the potential bot lane 2v2. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to be so hard to land a stun onto the Kalista because of the skipping and jumping back and forth.
oh yeah.
Which I
She
think,
should be able to get away.
yeah, I think I'm going to give the edge on that on Rift. I do like the bot lane more, and I do think that against the science and the Tarics and the Setsuanis that X25 has put into their team, it does work. You are able to get away from all these abilities thrown your way. You are able to grab your Thresh, throw him out there. If they're quick enough, they can even avoid a lot of that CC. Like if the Sion ultimate is coming, you grab your Thresh, you throw him in front of you, Sion ultimate lands on the Thresh. And the same could be done with the Setsuani ultimate, but it has to be timed very, very well for this to happen. It can
Oh, yeah.
happen though. On the other hand, I do see a lot of teamfight potential for the X25 squad, but I don't
I
see
think I give it to
consistent damage.
both.
I don't see consistent damage from X25. Apart from the Tristana, I see Poke, I
And
see
tank.
Engage, yeah, and Tank, and a Tristana. Which could
Like,
potentially work if you can keep your Tristana alive. I'm pretty sure that is the only thing you need in your team fight, especially if she's like as fed as last game,
oh yeah.
specifically.
I don't know if they're gonna let her get to that stage. Like, especially when you have such a strong, I'd have to say, like, if going team fight wise, I have to give it to Rift. Like, they have the damage, they have the CC, they have this burst orientated, they have, Thresh to help there, they have the tanky Trundle, they have a lot going for them in the team fight. Whereas, like, the damage coming out from X25, I don't think it's gonna be enough to really, like, you're gonna have to try and kill the Azir. And then once that's done, you're gonna have to try kill a Xin who's gonna be jumping in on your face. You're gonna have to try kill Callista who's gonna be, kind of supported by Thresh and Trundle. And then like I don't think anybody's gonna be able to blow up Trundle. So if they let it get to the late game, it's gonna be painful to deal with. But I have to say, like if X25 get ahead early, I think that Tristana will be doing most of the damage. And I do think like Tristana can make up for not having as much damage from everybody else.
How I see these team fights going is either the way you said, that Cristiano is going to be more than enough to sit on the back line and be able to like get down all the members of Rift. But on the other side, what I see is a Thresh Kalista Azir sitting on the back line and trying to kill the Sion, the Taric, and the Setsuani, which could very well happen. Azir puts very consistent damage onto the tanks, depending if he goes on the attack speed route or onto the AP route. It can change, the whole way this game will go and the team fights. And Kalista is more than good enough at killing tanks. And at the moment, there's three of them thrown her way. And on the other side, I would like to see a Trundle flank with the Zenzao jumping in, which means that the second you jump in, if the Tark ultimate is not placed on the Tristana and you throw her away with the Xin ultimate and the Trundle is coming, like that could literally mean trouble, not only for the Tristana but for the Zoe as well. So what I'm scared of right here is that with all this heavy engage, the tanks are going to leave the backline very, you know,
Pretty,
unprotected.
yeah.
Exactly.
I got a feeling Zoe's going to be pretty zoned out this game. Like
Yeah.
with the Callista, Thresh, Trundle, Zin is like I think right now, like Zoe, yes, a very strong pick and a very good 1v1 champion. But if you're going to be pushed under tower, she doesn't have any escapes. She doesn't have this. She can't get there. If you miss her sleep, if you miss that, you just need to dodge her abilities. If you dodge her sleep, there goes pretty much all of the damage that she can throw out at you, unless you walk into her Q, which does a lot of damage. So I think right now X25 are going for like a bit more pick orientated with the Sejuani ult coming in. So we're getting out to Q, doing a lot of damage, ulting in, poking somebody, getting back. Tristana can also hop in along with Torek and then sign to be the main frontliner. So they
But I
do have a
mean,
team fight, but
do you
yeah,
want to
I don't think it's
jump?
going to be as good.
Do you want to jump as a Tristana into the Azir soldiers, into the Callista, into the Zinzai? That is my problem right here. I mean, they're either going to have to leave her on the back line, hoping that she can survive, potentially the Zinza and the Trundle diving her, with the help of Zoe, like maybe Sleep can land, Basta Shot, all that stuff, and then you have your
Well,
front
that's a
line
lot
doing
to
all the
rely on.
work.
It's like, okay, you have to hit the sleep, you have to hit a stun, Sign has to be in the front line, Zoe can't get caught out, and then we can get a kill. Like, that's a lot to rely on. Whereas, like, Thresh can just land a hook, and then Trundle can just walk up, or Trundle can just walk in the front line, Calista can sit at the back, throw something, throw Thresh at them. They can kind of like peel, they can engage, they can disengage with the Azir. So there's a lot going for them with that one, and I have to do give the advantage to Rift. But talking about advantages, we're going to be heading into the commands for you guys. So I'm going to start off with the first one this time. I'm going to be starting off with one of the main ones, exclamation mark giveaway. If you want to enter to win yourself an ESL 2.0 chair and some vouchers for the ESL store.
Which you don't want to miss.
Definitely something you want to try. The chair looks very pretty, and who knows, it could give you the advantage in the next team fight. And then moving on, if you kind of forget the commands or forget what I'm going to mention, you can just type exclamation mark commands, and it'll give you, all the commands that you guys can use, which you can kind of have a look at. And speaking of have a look at, exclamation mark cup, if you guys want to see, the information about the event. What is this event? Where are these teams from? What's happening in this scene. So then you can move on to exclamation mark social, which is where we have all our social media stuff, where we make posts when we're going live. There's some very pretty graphics going up on that one. And to follow the pretty brackets, you can have a look at the exclamation mark brackets, which is where you're going to see the teams, where they're coming from, where they're going. Yeah, so definitely going to have a check at that exclamation mark brackets to see where these teams have come from. And I don't know, just get into where this event's going. Because right now we are heading towards the final stages, and these teams have got a lot of pressure on the line. They have, got to the point now where they can kind of take a big breath and get into this,
Like
but they
you?
still have, yes, definitely. Totally slipped that one in just for me.
Well, one for you and one for the team. I mean, for the teams,
Oh,
both of them. So
Rift is going to need a breath right now, but
well,
I do think they got the pick advantage.
you took both of them. So we'll give one for X25 and one for Rift, and see who survives that breath war that's going on.
A
Who has
third
the
one for the
last
bug
one?
flying around your room.
I mean, that one you can keep. It's okay. Because you said a lot of stuff all at once. And if your question just simply hasn't been answered, but everything that Brody said, so simply go to esl.gg/officialsec, and all your questions will be answered considering everything you want to know about the tournament, the prize pool, where it's happening. I'm going to tell you right now where it's happening. It's going to be at Bucharest, and I wish I could be there at the LAN finals, but
Oh, me too.
I mean, we gotta put out that entertainment for the people who are gonna be watching the stream who can't be there either. So that's going to be fine for us.
Well,
And
it's a bit far for me, but I'd love to be there. But yeah, definitely we're going to be providing, a lot of the information and, helping the guys who are at home are like, damn, we can't go to this event. What do we do now? Well, you tune into the stream and watch the action.
well, I'm gonna give
Speaking of
you
action,
the question of the day, which is pretty much the same question every day that we stream. Who do you give the early game to, and why?
Early game, I'm gonna say Rift right now have a decent pick overall. Like even though they have a team fight, orientated comp and they can wait for this late game and they should be waiting for the late game, I still think they have strong early game pickups. So I'm gonna be giving it to Rift, but it depends how aggressive this Sin plays. He could just farm out, he could go slow, he could just, get to the point where he's level 6, has his ultimate up. But I do feel like Rift right now, going over how last game went, I think they want to play this early game well. And I think they are going to try and play it a lot safer than they have before.
Well, get ready because live modification lessons are happening right now. So pay attention, everybody who wants some OBS help. This is how you pretty much do it. I mean, the old-fashioned way, but you know what? If it works, it works. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. And we have moved into Summoner's Rift Midnight, and we do see x25 going for a cheeky invade, but the Trundle has smelled it from far away, and he's going to be moving out of the bush instantly. But the invade continues, and I mean, Rift doesn't have a clue where x25 is right now. They are going to find that Zinza heading towards the mid lane. He's pretty safe.
I think like Rift are playing this a lot safer in the early game. Like the first minute, we see them go down to bot, place the ward, and then they're like, oh, okay, we can get up now. We don't have to look for picks. We don't want to run into, a Zoe in case she starts sleep, or, run into a very painful Sion who's hiding in a bush. So I think it's kind of smart for them to just play, instead of a rubber band this time, we see bot lane's already there, top lane's hiding in the tri bush, and then they're going to help Zin start out at red. So that's a very good start from them. Like right now, the positioning is on point.
I want to see if x25 are going to walk into that trap that's happening in the bot lane right now. No. Rift are going to manipulate the wave the way they want to, and I just wanted to say that it was an easy ward at the red buff for Rift because they knew that the whole of x25 was on the top side jungle of their team, so it was easy, get in there, ward it, get out. And look at all this zoning potential that we talked about on the Azir. Yes, the Zoe has the poke, but when it comes to you getting close to be able to take these last hits, you're gonna suffer from that poke from the Azir.
Like, I'd have to say she relies on quite a bit to really do in the mid lane. Like, she has to land quite a bit of an ability, she has to land a combo, she has to get the auto attack out to kind of do her damage. Like, you see, the sleep does land, so there should be a lot of damage going, Azir's way. But, kind of just walks out of it.
I am so interested in that top lane matchup. I mean,
oh, it's going to be so a bully lane. Going to be a bully from both sides. Like Sion's going to bully Trundle early on, then Trundle's going to bully Sion, and then I think that's where the jungler comes into play. But speaking of junglers coming into play,
oh boy, the Thresh is there as well. The Flay is going to be landing same as the Ignite, but the Zoe has come to the rescue. Is it enough or no? First blood onto the Azir, and the hook is going to be landing onto the Zoe, who has to flash away. But guess what? Double flash from Rift as well is going to be another kill for the Azir. Double kill
I don't
for
have
the
a problem start.
And, well, if they did need a good start on this game, they have it right now.
And they can keep going at this. I think they can kind of just like go back to bot lane. I don't know, catching off guard. Like, okay, so he's going to have issues going against an Azir, especially early on. Now she's going to have even more issues. Like, I don't think she can fight that. I think she's just kind of like, she's going to have to wait under tower. She's going to have to use a Q to farm. She's going to have to try get a lot of things, but he's not done. Look at him. He's going to go top lane.
Sion does have a flash if he needs it, but is he going to turn his attention onto that Trundle, or is he going to try to get away from this mess? Apparently he is going to turn on the Trundle, almost getting the kill. He has to flash away, and killing spree 4 minutes into the game for an Azir, who is very dangerous towards late. And I mean, his late game has just been sped up.
I don't know, his late game's going to be, well, early game, as we kind of seen right now. Like, another kill onto him. This poor Zoe. Poor Zoe is going to have so many issues trying to deal with him. I have a feeling like she's going to be able to land a lot of poke, kind of zoom in out of lane. But the moment he goes back now and actually picks up items, gets back to lane, I don't think she's going to be able to do anything in that lane. And that's going to force Sejuani to help out a mid. And like, Sejuani is already behind.
Oh boy, Tarek has been flayed under the tower and a load of spears into him as well. Tristana will be able to return the damage right there. Really good trade for that Yordle, and he did save the trade right there, I'm going to be honest.
Perfect. Perfect situation, but look at this Azir in the mid lane is going to catch off the Zoe. But the damage is returned, but look who's coming in from the bottom. As Auto Director takes us to the bot lane duel.
Well, thank you very much for that.
I suppose nothing really came of it, like Zoe kind of just walked away, Azir's going to walk away, and... Well, there's a giant wave they're being pushed, but look at the damage from
is coming in the top lane. This time Trundle does not have a flash to be able to get away from that, but is he gonna take Sion with him? The answer is no. Shield is gonna save him, and right now that Sion is working, but Zinzao is in the top lane. Early flash from the Tristana because she knew what was happening right there. I mean, you don't need vision to understand
that's the
when two
combo
people
from
play.
Zin.
Exactly. When two people play super aggressive for no reason, you know the jungler is there. So early flash does save her skin, but the Zinzao has made it yet around, and this time it
Round
could
two,
get
here
sticky.
we go.
Exactly. Double stun is going to be landing beautiful right there from the Tide to save them again, and I mean that was
Are
a
we going to
big
see it a
mistake
third time?
because it could happen, and x25 pushed again. The Tristana had no summoners, and then in the end the Tide has to burn his to save a very bold move they did in the bot lane.
That was a very, I'd have to say, it's a good move for them in the top lane earlier on, and that engagement right there. They kind of knew, like, they saw the flash earlier on that happened, and they knew it was down, so they kind of just played off that, like, okay, Trundle doesn't have flash, let's kind of make a move, and they did perfectly. Sion stayed alive, so there's some saving grace for the top lane. Like, look at the farm-wise, he's quite ahead, and I think right now, Izzy is going to just continue to roam after he pushes Zoe under tower, or kills her.
Azir ultimate towards the Zinza, and I'm not sure she's gonna be surviving to leave, you know, she's gone. And...
I know, deleted. Like, that's kind of the thing with Zoe. Zoe's one of those, she can pop off, do so much damage, but when she's caught, and she kind of suffers quite a bit, especially... Like, is having the Zin come in from the side, like that just secures it 100%. Like, you can't get away from this. She doesn't have escape, she didn't have flash, and she didn't even use her heal that time. So I think she kind of knew what was happening.
I mean, let's be honest, did not have a way to escape right there. The only thing she could have hoped for was that maybe if she used the heal and the poke landed, she would be able, you know, to return 1-on-1 with the Azir since he didn't have a flash right there to get away. But he preferred to keep it maybe for a fight later because we do also have the Infernal Dragon, and right now, like, mid lane really needs to push away to be able to participate in this fight and let it be a 4v4.
Oh, and a 301 attack speed Azir with a blue buff. No, that's going to be hard to deal with. And I think right now, we can expect him to push out the lane and then start roaming. Like, I think, never mind that they have this in as a jungler. I think right now, this is years where they're going to start, you know, make or break plays. And bot lane isn't doing bad at all, you know. The CS is ahead, and I'd have to say the damage output right now is going to be favoring, well, slowly starting to favor the Tristana.
I will agree with that. BF sword into her pocket, while we have Berserker Greaves on the other side, and the Azir ultimate is going to be landing again, but this time he doesn't have that much mana. Is it going to be enough though? No, because the Sion is in the mid lane shutdown for the 0-2 before this kill. Zoe, who takes a breathing movement right there from the Sion to save her skin on the last second.
Weird hook going on in the bot lane, which is going to be punished, but Luku is coming in from the side to kind of help out, just hang around there.
Oh, it is going to be land onto the Kalista. The Lantern is going to be saving her life, and this is where we see the pink wards come into play, because we all know that if you place a pink ward on top of that Lantern, you cannot click the Lantern for the life of you. Another hook gonna be landed, but I don't think this is going to be followed by any sort of damage right there, and indeed it is not. But Zinzao has started slowly heading towards the bot side, crossing a couple of wards on his way.
Oh no, definitely. Like, I don't know. Like, Zoe right now, okay, she picked up the kill. She's going to start getting into this, and she is going to start hurting. And I have to say, like, You used to just
Oh,
look at the damage right there, a flash, you know, just to land that, do some extra poke, and she can do this. She can continually
the hook is
abuse all
going to
these
be
summon
landing
spells.
onto the Tristana, and the Ignite is going down as well. Exhaust onto the Kalista, but the Setsuani is back for more. Kalista ultimate gonna drag behind the Thresh and throw him back in, as there is still an ultimate for the Thresh as well as a flash. They're not gonna choose to take this fight though.
That flash was respect for Zin. Like right there, Zin had hit his two of his auto attacks. The third one would knock the person up. Then he could have popped the slow. Like anybody got caught by that is, you know, going to be done. And we saw that earlier on. Like the moment you walk into lane, got 1-2, she's going to flash and get away. Like you want to respect the Zin and you want to respect his damage and healing ability. So that's very good from them, just playing it kind of safe. You know, trading the summoners for that. And Zoe is going to be punished. She does have blue, so I do kind of expect her to be very aggressive against this Azir, trying to land a few Qs, but mostly if she lands asleep, I think Azir could easily be going down, but we do see the pings that there is missing, and also same as top, like Sion started to walk down, they play it safe this time, they know like, oh, Sion could definitely be on the way.
Well, we did see him take a trip into that mid lane and causing that Azir his bold move a death, so he's got to be playing a little bit more cautious this time, especially because he doesn't have any of his summoners up, and you don't even know if that Sion, the second he leaves his lane, he could appear in the bot lane with the ultimate. You never know.
Oh yeah, like, you want to be scary, just like kind of avoid it.
I just want to see how this is going to turn up in the late game with the Sion. I'm going to be honest with you, I have not seen a Sion towards the late game and what he can do, especially on like even terms. If both teams are even and they both have a very even amount of damage on their pockets and everything, so I just want to see how the Sion will be able to translate into team fights rather than split pushing, or if he's just going to simply stick to split pushing.
I think he can kind of split push a lot better than Trundle, especially with his ultimate. He can kind of join the fights if they break out in mid or somewhere around there. He's got a lot of roaming potential. We've seen, but Luku's going to be getting caught out. There's another respect from that third hit. Just going to be like, well,
he's going to get the ultimate from the Taric, and we have the engagement from the Siren right here. It's going to be landing onto the Trundle, and the Zinzao is going to pop his ultimate as well. Satuani has joined the fight, and let's see who's going to be the first one to get down, and it is going to be the Zinzao, but the Trundle is taking the return kill onto the Setsuani, although the Zo has been caught off guard onto the top side by the Azir, and it's going to be going down to 2 for 1 so far for the favor of Rift, and Kalista is coming from the backline. They really need to be careful of that because Stan is about to get popped. Ooh. And so she will be. Now they are chasing the Sion away, and he's going to be dead for good also, and the only one surviving right there is the Taric. I mean, I will say that the Taric ultimate was popped way too early into the fight. Like, the second the Taric flashed away and then pops his ultimate, I think that was like a huge mistake and turnaround there, because then that protection that was there happened way before any engagement was meant to commence. So
I agree
the engagement
with that. Like,
happened and the ultimate was not there.
Yeah, if you flash away, you kind of you give yourself at least 10 seconds of like what are they doing before you pop your ultimate. Not like flash, pop ultimate. Oh dear, wait, never mind. They kind of not engaging on us, guys. They're just gonna wait this out. And Sion, I have to, like we mentioned earlier on, I do think Sion brings a lot to the team fights, but right now I don't think it's kind of like the right, like, no, I wouldn't say right style, but I think it's kind of like they can't do it now. He's not tanky enough, and he doesn't have the kind of like damage.
Onto the Zoe. The sleep luckily is going to hit, and she's moving towards her jungler. Oof. Very
low
damage right there, exactly, for the Zoe. And this one is going to be caught in between two members of Rift. She's going to be dashing away through the wall to safety, and dangerous stuff for both teams right here. I mean, the Azir is playing very bold in the mid lane, engaging over and over again onto the Zoe. And
proxy
the
Trundle
is proxying right now, exactly, which is a very annoying thing to deal with if you're a top laner.
I don't know, like proxying is one of the most annoying things to try and deal with, but I think Sion right now can deny a lot of it. He is going to have to go there, the farm, try to deny it. Trundle's going to keep doing it, but proxy farming doesn't work well in 5v5s. Like right now you're going to see like, oh, guys, can one of you come help me? The moment Zoe leaves mid lane, I kind of expect Trundle to run for his life. But Zoe's being kept under tower, so I think he's just going to continue to do it.
Well, we are going to have an engagement right there. The first ultimate is going to be going down. A lot of other ultimates are saved though, and Sion is having trouble in the top lane from where he was actually pretty far ahead. And you see these health pings coming down as the first hook is going to be landing onto the Tristana. Is the Taric ultimate going to be able to save her? Yes, it is, but now that Taric is left for dead in between 4 members of Rift. He's going to be trying to run away, but he's not yet there. And oh my god, the Trundle is going to be winning the 1v2, going down eventually to the Zoe, but that's pretty
that's
tough
not
time
worth.
right there, yeah.
And that's like the lane, and top lane is actually going to be pushing towards the under tower, so he's, I don't know, he's going to be gaining the lane advantage right away. He's going to be back to, you know, potentially proxy farming, and like Zoe can't really deal too much with, you know, a proxy farming person. And thankfully this time it's not singed, because that would just be a nightmare. But I'd have to say, like, at least they're playing objective, but like Zin needs to be a bit wary.
I can't wait for Sins to come back,
Especially
I'm gonna be honest with you.
one
They
day.
have got Thresh though in the middle of the river, and same as Zizzle, the hook is going to be landing barrier right there from the W, from the Zoe is going to proc, and the Q is not going to hit anyone. Unfortunately right there for the mid laner of x25, which is going to give the edge to Rift right there, and the Infernal is up. A lot of health bars are low, and mana bars are low, so maybe somehow x25 could fight this, but they don't have the science, so that's pretty much a 3v5.
Oh yeah, like, you just respect it. Like, you saw much HP Zin regen just fighting the dragon. Yeah, he could turn that to fighting a champion, so I just kind of like take it a little bit safe, you know, just accept that, well, we don't want to give away too much advantage. But speaking of advantages, 11 kills to 4 for Rift right now, and they have this gold lead, so I don't know. I like this Rift. I like the different styles that they're playing out, and that they're kind of showing like, hey guys, we can also team fight just as well as you guys.
Definitely, and look at how the Trundle would try to turn around onto the Sejuani after he takes the tower. That is indeed another face of Rift that we are seeing. They seemed a little bit confused on the previous one, but right now they seem much better, and their comp seems very much coherent, and I don't see the Sion being able to get away from that situation. Way too many spears. He's going to be going indeed down to the Kalista 4-0-3. That is very, very painful to deal with.
And look in the mid lane.
In the middle, we have another one of these fights who is going to be won by the Azir. I mean, we are seeing a lot of 1v1s in the mid lane that do not favor x25's mid laner, and that Azir is sitting on 6, 1, and 2, and he's very dangerous right now.
Oh, in a team fight, he's going to be outputting most of the damage. Like, especially, you know, against Zoe's going to be doing a lot of poke and a lot of distance damage, but when it comes to the raw team fight, she's not going to be able to output as much. Like, I don't know. I like seeing her picked. I like seeing the way she comes into the meta, but if you're going to pick her, you have to have more damage. You can't have a Cyan top, and you can't really have, you know, the Sejuani jungle, because when it comes to damage in a team fight, you don't have much to really deal with. And especially now, this Tristana is 1-1-0, so she's ahead in farm, but she can't do anything against a 4-0-3 Kalista with a 0-0-9 Thresh. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see when the next team fight comes. We should be seeing them go for Baron later on, so we're going to have to just see how this turns out.
Well, let's see what the next move of Rift will be, because right now they're 7k ahead, 18 almost minutes into the game, and that really hurts. Another combo is going to miss right there for Zoe, and Azir punishes yet again. I mean, this is not just the mid laner of Rift playing tremendously well right here. He's punishing a lot of mistakes of that Zoe.
Oh, like, if Zoe goes to that engagement, you can engage.
That
Like,
Sejuani has been caught by the duo lane of Rift in the bot lane. The pop is not going to be enough. Sejuani's going to be able to run away, but Trundle is coming from the other side, and boy, oh boy, they need to run for the hills because Zinzao is on his way. Well, Sejuani ultimate is going to be landing on the Kalista. Shut down for the Tristana. Taric ultimate is going to be popped right now, and the Zinzao is coming from behind, so they need to be careful here if they don't want to lose another member. Double kill for the Yordle, but the Sejuani is going to be going down. The Zinzao has joined the fight, gonna get exhausted, but is this going to be enough to save Taric's skin? The answer is most likely no, it's not. He's going to go down to the Zinzao as the Tristana is going down to the Azir. 8, 1, and 2. What are you going to do about this x25? Because that is very painful.
I don't know, that's definitely painful. Like, we saw Tristana now, she's, you know, got 3 kills now this time, so she did kind of get a little bit out of it, but I think the way the team fight's going, you're still not winning the numbers. You're still losing at least one more person in the other team, and then you can just siege. And right now, Sion shouldn't be able to stop this, and rightfully they should just turn on him.
He is trying, and they are diving him right now. The knockup is going to land on the Zinzao, and the Setsuani is there as well. Zinzao ultimate gonna be popped just to get away, and the slip gonna be landing on the Trundle. A little bit of hurt right there from the Zoe. They're not gonna be able to get him though. Flash from the Zoe towards the Trundle, and he's gonna be missing again the skill shot. Azir is there, so he's running away. Knock up onto that Zinzao into the top lane. Setsuani and Sion are taking care of him. He's gonna be going down in the end to the lady with the boar. Another flash from the W away from the Zoe.
Sleep does land.
And the sleep does land onto the Thresh. And let's see if he's going to be the next one to go down. The bomb is on him, and a kill for that Zoe, who has been suffering into the mid lane. I'm not gonna lie
And
to
look
you.
what
And
just spawned.
right in time for Baron. Azia, who has all the kills on him, is in the fountain right now. He is just walking out of the base, and x25 is onto that Baron. Trundle and Kalista are right there. Trundle really low right there. He is going to be popping his ultimate, but sleep lands on him as well. Baron is going down slowly but surely, but that could very well turn around the whole fight. Baron is going to be going the side of x25, but Zoe is down, and x25 is running towards the wrong destination, because that's where Zinzao is coming from. Oh my god.
Riot, please. What was that? No, but we kind of like see, like they're just gonna continue to siege this out. Like, okay, Baron was denied, they got Baron up, and I
mean,
don't know,
that's
it's kind of
okay.
like, was that worth?
Still on 3
I'd
members.
have to say it is. I'd
I mean,
have to say like
when
that's
you're far
kind of
behind,
worth it.
7k, 8k gold that they are right now, 9k gold, I mean, it is worth because it gives them a breathing air. I'm just not sure about the composition, how they're gonna be able to output consistent damage, because all Zoe has is a skill shot. If that misses, there is no consistent damage other than the Tristana, and on the other side you have the Azia and the Kalista that put so much consistent damage, because that is the name of the game right here. We have two teams. One can output burst damage with the Zoe if the skill shot hits, and then on the other side you have so much consistent damage, which that Azia has just gone Luden's Echo. I mean, how can he survive that?
That's, I don't know, that's gonna be so painful to deal with. That the threshold doesn't land on his ultimate.
They are going to turn around right here. Tristana is going to be jumping in onto that Thresh. Kalista is going to grab her support back and throw him back in onto the Setsuani. And the Thresh is going to be able to run away. Trundle has joined the fight, and that is a big mess of a fight. Tariq ultimate will not make it till the end. And who else is not going to make it till the end is going to be Tariq himself and the Sion. Another 2 kills for Rift, and the gold lead has spread to 10k.
Oh yeah, like that. Right there, and then you see the bot lane. They kind of left Sejuani to try and stop this Rift Herald just ripping through the towers, and they do kind of get rid of it. But it's got to the point now where they have this 10k gold lead. They have all the kills. They have the team fight potential. They have Azia to do all this damage. Zoe's not able to do much. Like we've seen, she lands a few Qs, she lands a sleep, she does damage that singles out one target, does a tiny bit of poke, but compared to what they can do with the 616 Kalista and 913 Azir, there's no comparison.
Well, they are trying to turn around onto Rift, but I mean, I don't know what x25 has left right here. They are pretty much in the same situation like Rift was on the previous game. Like, there is not much you can do to turn this around, because right now your carries are not pretty fed. I mean, yes, okay, the Tristana is 20 CS ahead, but is that 20 CS going to fix the 616 situation on the Kalista and the 913 situation on the Azir? I don't think so.
No, not at all. Not at, like, yeah, okay, you can give some like, oh well, she has some kills. No, it like won't matter in this situation. Like she's so far behind, the team's far behind, and like we said, even last game, this is a team-orientated game. This is a 5v5. You're playing for the team. You're playing for, the games always end on a team fight. They always end on how the teams go into this. And right now, team advantage going straight to Rift. I don't see a way that x25 can really kind of like get back into this unless they pull off an amazing late game Baron steal. They take the Elder Drake. They catch somebody off guard, they pop the Sejuani so she can't really be the frontline tank, and then, I mean, not the Sejuani, they pop the Azir, sorry, and I don't see them really getting into that. I don't see it going to that point. Right now, they're playing the slow, methodical. They're pushed out. They've pushed them all the way to the base. You're going to see the inhibitor being taken very shortly. I can kind of assure you of that.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you here. Ozzy is the most fed member of Rift right now, and the only magic resist I do see is boots on the Taric, and just right now, Sion purchased some items also, which is not enough. The Sejuani absolutely has no amount on her, so the second she jumps in, that Azir will be able to burst through, especially with the Void stuff that he just purchased. He is going for the pure AP route, throwing it there and Nasus Tooth for extra juicy, consistent damage.
And that's painful to deal with. Like, I don't think you can really even deal with that. You can't fight that. And the problem is, you can't get to him with all that damage, and you can't get to him with the team. And we're seeing a battle go on in the bot lane, but surely you should be backing off the moment you see the Sejuani hiding in the distance.
We do have an engage right there. Sion ultimate is going to be popped. I'm not sure if that was miscommunication between the members of X25, because if that fight commences in the bot lane, it's going to be a 3v4 for Rift in the mid lane, and you don't really want that.
Oh, you will lose your inhibitor with that. You can't really fight that too much. And I don't know, Trundle's just keeping this poor Sion, you know, low, is starting to get rid of his HP, and he's forced to kind of try and wave clear, which he doesn't have the best abilities right now. So he's going to be fighting the wave clear while Trundle just hits the tower.
Oh my god, and look at all that damage that Trundle is doing to the tower, and he's going to be able to lifesteal all that health he just lost right there. And unfortunately for X25, they cannot leave their mid lane tower, because if they do, they're going to lose it 100%. So do you focus on killing that Trundle who's going to take your tower anyway in the bot lane, or do you lose both towers, or at some point you're going to have to land that poke and engage?
You have to be you need to be the one making the decisions right now. You don't want to be like, okay guys, let's just wait for them to push into the base, let's wait for them to do this, let's wait for them to do that, because that's not going to work. Like, Izzy's put up his tower now, and they're just going to move to the top tower, which is, look at that huge wave.
Oh, they have got that Zinzad onto the Sejuani ultimate. It's going to get popped! Beautiful pickup right there. Might be the breath that they wanted. They have got the first onto the sleep. Is going to land. Also, exhaust done onto the Thresh, and he is going to be going down also. Maybe that's what they wanted, to be able to defend right here. Still 10k gold difference though. That is a big step they need to make if they want to make it back into the game. They don't just need to do this once, they need to do it again and again and again. I mean, how many times will Rift make the same mistake?
Like that is kind of getting caught off guard making the siege, but that's what they were kind of like waiting for, and that's what I said. You have to make the opportunity, you have to make play for it. Like, they could have just let Zin go away, they could have just let them continue to walk outside the base, but they said no, listen, okay, let's take the engagement, let's try get this. They caught him off guard, caught the other one off guard, got, you know, perfect picks right there, and now they can start to kind of get back the vision control, try get a little bit out of there and see where this goes. But I don't think anything's going to really chop this, like this Trundle split pushing. Like, I don't think anything's going to top it right now. Like, Sion can't compete, they can't have two members going down because they'll lose inhibitors, so it's going to be very hard to deal with that.
Let's have a look at the inventory of Rift. They do have a QSS onto the Kalista, and there is a Mikhail's coming for the Thresh as well, which means that if any CC at all lands, it's going to be able to get cleansed by the Thresh, other than on the Kalista, who she has her own CC, but just in case double one lands, he's going to be there to be able to help. What I see as a saving grace right here is that they might be able to get picks still onto that Zinza, who has gone greedy because they're ahead and went onto that Trinity Force. That could mean that he does a lot of damage, but if he does get caught, it could mean he might just fall. Very easy, like we saw him, like the Sejuani ultimate landed and he fell straight away.
Back.
Well,
back to the bot lane. It's going to be so painful to deal with.
Exactly, all eyes on that Baron and the two bot laners who really want to teleport into that fight. And look at that Trundle completely ignoring the Sion and beating up this tower. And now he's like, alright, I ignored you enough. Not anymore though, but oh my god, the Sion ultimate is going to be missing, and the knock-up as well. Loads of shields onto that Sion. But you know what X25 is missing on, while the Trundle is able to kill the ADC. Oh my god, is that Trundle being paid off for Rift right now? Rift is not only able to take the Baron by keeping every single X25 member beat on that Trundle, Trundle returns a kill on their ADC, which is the only wave clear they have.
Like, how do you can't deal with that? Like, when one member can keep 3 or 4 of you there, that's a sign like they have the advantage, and they're just gonna push up these towers. Like, right now, I can kind of see them resetting for the next game.
Well, they definitely have to start thinking of the next game because the gold lead only gets larger. 13k in between these two teams, and if I'm honest with you, I see a lot more late game on the side of Rift. So it is going to have to take a miracle and a bunch of mistakes for Rift for this game to turn around.
It's gonna have to rely on, I don't know, Zoe maybe hitting the one of the combinations of a lifetime onto the Zia.
One ultimate
Are we
is
gonna
gonna
see
be
it?
missing, but the sleep is gonna land. But guess what? The cleanse is right there on time to save his skin and get out alive. And I'm just gonna say, look at all these wards on the top side of X25. They're all red. Any point the Trundle wants to flank, he is able to do so.
You could literally TP into their base and go take the bottom inhibitor, and like they're forced to send 2-3 members to deal with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's their like plan to kind of end the game. It's just be like, hey Trundle, go bottom, and go get that inhibitor. Like just that you can send him places because the team can't deal with him. And if he's able to do the same thing like he did last time, just take out the Tristana, that is massive against X25 because they don't have this damage. They don't have any follow up, and Zoe's definitely she's very squishy. She does a lot of damage, but a little bit wary around there, especially walking to an unwatered jungle.
Exactly, and if X25 had problems before defending 3 towers, well now 1 inhibitor is down, 1 inhibitor is naked, and Rift is barrened up and ready to go. So let's see, this is gonna have to be their last stand. If they're gonna have to do something, they're gonna have to do it now because Rift is knocking onto the middle inhibitor door. So they're gonna have to reply and see who's outside.
Knock knock, who's there? It's the whole team.
And they are
Besides
turning their action on Trundle again. So Tualni ultimate landing onto the Trundle. I'm pretty sure, yes, ultimate from the Trundle right here. Exhaust gonna be going down. Everything going to be going down onto that drop, who is going to take the lantern and get away. What a play right there from the Thresh. Beautifully played by the Trundle and the Thresh right there on a Trundle who didn't even have flash. That's how far ahead he is right now. 300 CS. He's 4 items in. He's so tanky while dealing so much damage, and they cannot deal with him. The Sion Peak was working very early in the game, but not anymore. He's gonna TP back into the lane and go over again. While, you know what? Look at all these minions barging into X25 space, and right now the Thresh who has landed onto that Sion, who is not as tanky as the Trundle, he is gonna be going down to the Azir. 10, 1, and 3. I mean, do you leave it open? And if you do you not pick it? But as I say this, the fight is going on. Another play is going to be landing, and the Xin Zhao is going down. Luckily for X25, I mean, I don't know how luckily, because more members are going down for them. The Taric is going to fall. The Zoe is going to fall. And the Sichuan is lastly also going to fall. Shut down for the ADC of Rift. 8, 1, and 9. I mean, we said that you have to trade some S-tier picks, but right now, maybe X25 traded the wrong S-tier picks. First star going to be going down, second star going down, and it is going to be 1-1 for Rift versus X25. They're not giving up, and they don't want that 3rd seed. They want more.
The problem is all these picks are so viable. Like right now you can ban the Trundle, but you probably leave open now at that point. And then there's so many picks you have to worry about now. And I don't know, going to it, I'd like to see X25 go back to kind of like a standard pick, a standard mid laner, go for a standard top lane, a little bit more tanky, and then hope to try and take a team composition. Because right now, that is just showing you how strong, Rift can respond in terms of team fight potential. And to counter that, you're going to have to play a team fight. Like the early game ain't going to work. The Zoe is not going to work either. You have to kind of like rely, I think right now, get rid of that Azir. Like, honestly, it's doing so much work in the early game. It's doing so much work in the late game. It is kind of snowballing games. You either pick it or you ban it.
Or you ban it, exactly. And depending on which team is going to be on blue side, that might have to be a red side ban for any of the two teams. I mean, there are so many S tier picks right now, which you're either going to have to, if you're on red side, you're either going to have to let two open, hoping you're going to get like one of the two, or you're going to have to pretty much try to ban everything. But then on the blue side, maybe the team doesn't want to ban everything, obviously, because they do want something open. So it is a tricky pick and ban phase as well, especially because it's preseason and you don't know exactly what's going to change when the season kicks in and all that. So there's a lot of champions who are up on the table for the taking. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into a very, very small break, and we are coming back for the last game between Rift and X25. Who's going to take the third seed and who's going to advance to the upper bracket to face Bontek for the first seed? We're going to find out very soon, so stay tuned.